Good day, Bukidnon State University. So, welcome to the 353 BSAT 1C listening podcast video. So, our topic for today's video is philosophical perspective of the self. So, before we begin our discussion, so let me introduce ourselves. So, I am Mr. Bacalaris.
I am Saison Jumar.
I am Stephen J. M. Sison.
I am Villanueva Jancard.
I am John Joriel Taer. I am Sulinet Israel.
We are
The Group 5. So Mr. Marvin, explain Socrates and how you relate yourself the perspective of Socrates.
So, thank you, Mr. Villanueva. Socrates is the first father of philosophy, knowledge, and education. So, the perspective of Socrates is an unexamined life is not worth living. So, we need to reflect ourselves first. So, Socrates believed the two importance of personhood. The first, body, which is imperfect and impermanent. The second is soul, so which is perfect and permanent. So, for me, I believe the perspective of Socrates is unexamined life is not worth living, because I am the type of person who always reflect ourselves, especially in the evening. So, as a human being, so we need to apply the perspective of Socrates. That's all.
What are the perspective of this philosopher and how can you relate yourself in this point of view?
According to John Locke's perspective, his work on the self is most represented by the concept tabula rasa, which means blank slate. People begin with no knowledge and then through empirical observation, we develop our understanding of the world and the self. That knowledge can be gained from the experiences, failures, and references and observation of the person. We humans are the author of ourselves. That quote, this sentence made me question myself. I started asking questions about myself and started finding my own answer, an answer that satisfies my soul, not society or any other else. And after some time contemplating on his perspective, I enlightened that the experiences and perceptions of a person is important in the establishment of who that person can become. He encourages us to create our own self, that we can make our own rules in life, that's all.
David Hume, according to him, self is simply a bundle or collection of different perceptions which succeed each other with an inconceivable rapidly and are in a perspectual flex and movement. You don't have a sense of the self. It is just imagination. It is all just impression. That's why there is no self.
Gilbert Ryle. The self is the way people behave. According to Gilbert Ryle, arguing that the mind does not exist and therefore can't be the seat of self, Gilbert Ryle believed that self comes from behavior. And I can relate this perspective because I am a person based on how close I am to them once I get close to that person, and that is the way I can see that how I will to treat them about my self behavior. And that's all. Thank you.
Plato believes that the body soul have three sections. First is the rational, second is the spirited, third is the appetitive. Plato also believes that the reality is divided into two parts. First is the idea, which is the perfect reality of existence, and second is phenomena. Phenomena are the physical world we experience. I can relate myself to Plato's perspective because I have the capacity to use my reason to overcome appetite and desire, to make rational decision. And when the three sections of soul is not in harmony, I feel mental conflict and irrationality. That's all.
Immanuel Kant perspective emphasized the importance of reason, morality, and human dignity in our life. He believed that we should always strive to act in accordance with our moral duties, even when it requires us to make difficult choice. I can relate the Immanuel Kant perspective for following valid rules, not lying, and if others may feel harm, that's all.
That's all everyone, and thank you for watching. God bless!
Bye-bye!